right. There we are, back from the 2025 Borealis Psychedelic Science Summit in Stockholm. Too many S's. My name is Yoshi, and I'm joined right now by Cecilie Byholt Endresen. Welcome.
Thank you.
From Norway's version of NPV, Nätverket för Psykedelisk Vetenskap, that people are more familiar with. What's the Norwegian version called?
So the Norwegian version is called Norsk Psykedelisk Vitenskap.
Norsk Psykedelisk Vitenskap.
Yes.
And you are the...
I'm the president, so I'm sort of head of the organization.
All right. Yes. How long have you been president?
I'm pretty new, actually. I was elected in June.
Okay.
So just a few months into the job. Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Is it what you imagined it would be?
Yes, I think I have to say so. Yeah. And I have a little bit of experience before because I was running a local chapter of NPV in Norway. NPV Rogaland. So I sort of had a little bit of an idea of what it would be, and yeah, it's living up to my expectations so far.
Were you part of the organization for a long time before becoming president?
So I started the local chapter back in 2023, so that's 2 years now. Yeah, so I feel like I'm fairly new still into the whole psychedelic field. So, but it's been quite a journey, and I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, that's great. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into the psychedelic field.
Yes. So my background is I'm a clinical psychologist. I don't work clinically at the moment, meaning I don't do patient care. I've actually specialized in organizational psychology, so that's what I do for my my day job. And this is a bit on the side, but I'm using all the skills from practicing organizational psychology for a long time into this work here. That's one of the reasons why they asked me to take on the job. Yeah.
Got it.
But sort of how I got into, how I ended up here basically starts 3 years ago, back in the spring of 2022. I lost my mom. Yeah, she was ill for quite some time. She had pancreatic cancer.
Sorry to
now, cancer is a pretty shitty disease, and pancreatic cancer especially. So we knew when she was diagnosed that we didn't have much time left. And so she lived for about 1.5 years after diagnosis. She was diagnosed in the fall of 2020. That was in the pandemic. And what we thought was, vague, diffuse symptoms of COVID turned out to be this. So that was quite a shock.
Yeah.
But then we came to spring of, or winter, early spring in 2022. And my mom had one of the appointments, or an appointment with her cancer doctor at the local hospital. And he basically told her that you're so ill now that if we give you more chemo, because she was receiving chemo at the time, if we give you more treatment, that's what's going to kill you. So I suggest that we wrap up treatment now and that you go home and spend the rest of the time with the people that you love. And my mom, she wanted to die at home. And in order for that to happen, I had to take time out of work. And so I did. I got leave from work, went back home, moved in with my parents, and I took care of her until the day that she passed. So I saw, a human being, and not just a human being, my mother. It's up close, the process of dying and everything that entails, both from her perspectives, but also from a person in close family. And in the Norwegian healthcare system, when you have, when you're dying and you have cancer and everything that entails, they give you morphine for the pain. And that's good. She got good pain medication. But when she was struggling with existential distress and emotional stuff and these things, they gave her benzo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that to me wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I got into the field, because I was thinking, after all of this happened, there must be some other way that we can do palliative care. And I'm convinced, given all the research and everything we know now, that if my mother had had the option of trying psychedelics as part of her palliative care, I think her passing would have been different. I think it would have been better, if I may use that word. And I think it would have made a big difference for us as a family, being there with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my way into it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Psychedelics are used in palliative care in other countries, right?
Yes. So, I mean, they're doing I think that's the SciPal project now, that the EU-funded study that they're looking into that in palliative care.
Okay.
How much it's applied. I know they do this treatment in Canada. I was speaking to a MD yesterday who's attending the conference, and she's doing ketamine treatment in palliative care. Okay. And her patients typically have 2 to 3 months to live.
Right.
And probably other places too. I can't remember the specifics right now, but I mean it's one of the areas where I think psychedelic assisted therapy and psychedelic medicine really has a place. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For sure. That's very strong to take a family tragedy and turn it into something that hopefully can help other people in similar situations moving forward.
Thank you. And it's meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've seen it firsthand. I lived it. I breathed it. You know, I've been there and seeing and experience the things that I did. I wish that other people have other options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so it's a big motivation for me. And and I would like to reference what Essie said at the beginning of this conference in her opening statement today, because she said one of the final things, she said was, think about what can be your service to the community. Mm-hmm. And I think of this as my service.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Essie is the president of the Swedish NPV.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so your role is more like I don't know what the right word is, lobbying for research or trying to get that kind of research going in Norway, or?
Yeah, so it's broad. I mean, we have defined 4 main focus areas for our organization, because there's a lot of stuff to be done. There's a lot of work ahead. And I think I'm going to say a little bit about that before I mention our 4 focus areas, because in the West, we are complete newbies to this. We have indigenous communities and cultures and people that have worked with these medicines for a long time. Mm-hmm. But we are now trying to sort of catch up, and whereas they have had, hundreds and thousands of years to develop, a cultural container and know how to work with this, we don't have thousands of years. We have a few years. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of work to be done out there in various areas. And one of the things that we want to do in NPV, seeing, it's psychedelic science, is, first of all, we want to spread information. We need to educate the public, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of misconceptions. I was one of them. I had never imagined myself here, say, 4 years ago, but here I am. Yeah. And I think it's, information and education. So spreading the word, both to the general public, but also to health professionals and others who have a place in this field in the future. And then it's financing. So getting finances for research and other projects. That's important for us. It's important for us to build international collaboration. To reach out. That's actually one of the panels that I'm participating in later today, is Nordic collaboration, because we can't sit in our separate countries and do stuff. I think the very nature of these medicines naturally entails that we have to reach out and connect and work with these things as a community, and a community can have a broad sense, and I think an international community is one of those. Yeah. And then there's a 4th dimension, and right now I have about 3 functioning brain cells, so I can't remember it. So I might have to come back later and tell you more about it.
We're happy with 3 out of 4. That's good enough.
Yeah, good.
Interesting. So the panel you're joining today is on collaboration between the countries.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So we can I just blabber on and tell you about it?
Sure,
yeah.
Go ahead.
So back in February there was a conference in Iceland called Psychedelics as Medicine. And at the pre-conference event, the day before the main conference started, we had an academic and association day, where all the Nordic associations came together and presented sort of who are we, what are we doing, how are we working, what's going on in our respective countries. And then at the end of that session, we signed a manifesto. So we basically committed to collaboration across the Nordic region, and, you know, committed to some sort of common guidelines and ethical standards that we want to try and bring forward into the field. And so after we sign that manifesto, you know, you sign a paper and I guess you sign an idea, but there needs to be a follow-up, because that paper can easily slide into a drawer and stay there. So now we're entering the process of, okay, let's make this thing alive. So what specifically we've done is we meet at a quarterly basis, representatives from all the Nordic associations and Estonia, because they are sort of up and coming and they need a community. And we said, come join us.
Nice.
Yes. So I think that's also, we have a responsibility to do that. Those of us who are ahead, we need to bring others up to speed in the ways that we can. So we meet quarterly, we discuss what's going on, we share information, we see if we can get cross or transnational collaboration going, these things. I think this conference is an example that we've tried to sort of help each other market it. We help each other with practical stuff. I'm moderating here. I'm not just in a panel, but I help moderating and introduce tracks and like help each other in that way. And then I'm sure there's lots of other things to come in the future. We're still pretty early on. Yeah. But I think this is an important way of driving the field forward. And I also hope at some point this can be an inspiration for other regions to establish similar networks and get going.
For sure.
Yeah.
As someone who has been part of the Swedish network for about 10 years, I can say progress is being made.
Yes, I'm very happy to hear.
Not that the network didn't do great stuff, they did, but it's so much more collaborative, so much more interest, so much more international. Things are happening, and it's great to see.
It is, yeah, it really is.
Considering that you just said 4 years ago you would have never been sitting here, what would you say to the you of the past to kind of get her on track to maybe look into this stuff? I'm thinking there's probably people listening who are not convinced yet. What could you have heard back then that would have nudged you to maybe look into this stuff?
Yeah, I think first of all we need to understand, like, people out there, and myself included, we've been told this narrative for a very long time that these things are drugs. They're dangerous. They can make you crazy. You know, they're very harmful. They're addictive. They can ruin your life. And based on that narrative, which has been pushed by many different instances and credible sources, of course we believe them. Why shouldn't we, right? Yeah. And I think having that understanding and meeting that resistance to this with, you know, these being drugs and dangerous and all of that, and be understanding and acknowledge that, of course, you're skeptical. No wonder you're skeptical. You should be skeptical. Yeah. And at the same time, there are developments in the area. We know things now that we sort of knew before, but we have even more data now, and perhaps it's time that we open up the possibility and be curious to see, you know, maybe there's more here than we've first been told. And this is how science advances, right? We investigate things and we collect data and we interpret, and that's what we're trying to do now, and we're doing it in a solid way. This isn't going into la-la land and wishy-washy stuff. This is solid. Yeah. So read the data and educate yourself. Be critical, because again, back to one of the opening statements today about the hype. We've been in a state where, you know, you've been on the one side where it's so dangerous. That's not the correct picture. But then you have the other side with the hype that this is a magic thing. It'll fix your life. You do it once, you know, all is sorted, all is good. That's bullshit, if I may say so. Yeah. So let's find the middle way here. And it's a complicated field. There are a lot of different nuances to it. I think one of them, just now I was listening to one of the presentations, research. A lot of research now is being conducted on an individual basis. You're putting one person into a room. They have therapists there that they're being cared for, but we're perpetuating, is that a word, that you're sort of continuing that individualistic approach that we have in the West, and we just sort of take for granted that that's the way you should do. I think we need to learn more from the people who have, the original knowledge keepers, those who have done this for a long time.
Right.
They don't do it in an individual way. They do it in a group setting. I would love to see more of that. And let's be critical of how we design these things. And I think another aspect, again, referring back to those who have walked this path before us, they use these medicines, and they don't necessarily call it medicines. They have different names for it, including holy sacraments. That's a very different narrative than a medicine, right?
Yeah.
They use these substances to strengthen the connection to each other, to strengthen the connection to the rest of the community, to strengthen the connection to the world around us, to nature, to other than human beings. Yeah. To, ancestors, spirits. For some people, this might sound wishy-washy, but there's definitely a spiritual dimension to this too. So, I don't know. Yes, I might be rambling a bit now, but
no, it's good. It's good. I completely agree.
Yeah, let's look at these things with different lenses. We're very much into the biomedical lens at the moment. And I understand that's a language that we speak in the West. But let's not forget social anthropology, sociology, psychology, theology, all of these things.
Yeah.
And even music and art and creative, it requires a broad lens of understanding. And even then we might not get it. But let's not get trapped in just, or not. Let's not get trapped in just one track.
No, I completely agree. And the sense, I think, fewer and fewer people will think this sounds wishy-washy, because everyone right now feels like society needs more connectivity, more community.
Yes.
We're getting away from it with the screens, with all of that stuff.
Yes.
So if this can be one path for people to find a connectivity community, I'm sure that can be that will be welcomed.
Yes, and I think it's really important, because we see from a lot of the studies that one of the things that people, a lot of them report that they have a strengthened sense of connection to others. The relationships are healed. It's not necessarily about individual healing. It's about relational healing, and relational healing both to humans and nature around us, nature connectivity. And, we even have a term for it now. We call it ecodelics.
Ecodelics.
I think it's ecodelics, yeah. Again, my 3 functioning brain cells. But it's basically, we have this sense of heightened connection to nature.
Right.
And if there's one thing that we desperately need at this point in time, I think that's it.
That would be it, yeah.
We have a planet in a meta crisis. I think the Stockholm Resilience Center now just released new data on the planetary boundaries. We're up to breaching 7 out of 9 planetary boundaries.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and the planetary boundaries are about where are sort of the safe zones where the planet is healthy and can function optimally.
Right.
7 out of 9 of those, boundaries we have overstepped them. Some more than others, but it said something about the state of the world. Yeah. And we need new ways of thinking. We need new approaches. Psychedelics now is researched, again for individual healing, but for the future, I hope we can also broaden the scope.
Indeed.
Yes.
What's something in the psychedelic research field that you're excited about that's happening right now?
Can I say everything?
Of course.
Yes. I think it's difficult for me to just point out 1 or 2 things. I think in general, a lot of things. In Norway, we have a lot of research now coming out, and we have growing experience with ketamine, MDMA. We got research going on that. We had one of our researchers now got an article published in the British Journal of Psychiatry, which is really highly recognized on it's the first study on MDMA for depression.
Oh wow.
Now it's just a very small study, but it's, you know, it points to an interesting venue to be explored further. We're hoping to see more psilocybin. I know out internationally psilocybin is ongoing in several places. I also see, you know, there's an increasing research regarding ayahuasca and ibogaine. We have in Texas, you know, there's a big ibogaine initiative going on for the opioid crisis.
Right.
I have my concerns about that as well.
Okay.
And I think one area that maybe not everyone is familiar with are the sustainability sort of sides of these things.
Right.
Because, for example, ibogaine or iboga, it's a root that you find in Gabon. And because of the increased awareness of this now, that obviously puts pressure on resources in Gabon. And you have traditional communities that have worked with these roots and these medicines for a long time. And that's putting pressure on their culture and how they operate. And it's also putting pressure on the wildlife there because they're cutting down the forest to get to these roots.
Right.
And that has consequences for all of life. And as humans, we need to remember that we're a part of a web of life. Yeah. We need everyone in this, not just the humans. So
for sure.
Yes.
Is it possible to synthesize ibogaine? I know the same issue has appeared with was it 5-MeO-DMT from the poisonous frog?
Yes. Yeah.
And they found a way to synthesize it instead of milking frogs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I possibly I'm not I don't know 100%.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yes and no,
True.
You know, because this is a long conversation, isn't it?
But everything has ups and downs.
Exactly. Yeah. Nothing is simple in this space. And I really hope that everyone out there, whether you're, you know, really enthusiastic or you're critical, just remember it's not black and white, especially not in this field.
Very true.
Yeah.
Where can people find and follow your work?
So, well, they can obviously find me on our webpage, Psykedelisk Vitenskap, or Google Norsk Psykedelisk Vitenskap. You'll find more information there. I'm on LinkedIn. I use that quite a lot, so feel free to find me there. I try to be active and post my opinions and stuff that's happening there. And we're also, on social media, Facebook and stuff.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for sitting down chatting with me.
And thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure.
Much appreciated. And thank you to everyone tuning in. My name is Yoshi. This has been the Borealis Psychedelic Science Summit in Stockholm. Catch you next time.